Imagine this. So it's the late 1980s and you're a small kid. Your mom has been running around all morning trying to get things done, and she sets you in front of the television to keep you busy. You expect to see Big Bird, Kermit, or Lamb Chop, or Mr. Rogers talking to you and teaching you stuff when... Wait, that's not a Muppet. That's not a puppet. That's not... What is this? Suddenly you see a group of human-animal hybrids come out singing and dancing all across your screen. You aren't sure whether to be scared or entertained, but one thing's for sure, you can't look away. They've done it. They've captured your attention. And that would be the true power of the zoo. The Zoobilee Zoo. Hey everybody, what's up, and welcome back to Macabre'Gorium Labs presents School of Boredom Quickies. My name is Bats, and I'll be your guide today as we discuss Zoobilee Zoo, zoo-like creatures, and you.
This is a dream, and as bright as the brightest blue. Welcome to Zoobilee Zoo.
Zoobilee Zoo was a show intended for preschoolers that was in production from 1986 to 1987, although it would remain on the air up until around the year 2000 on channels like PBS, local network channels, and the Hallmark Channel. This show would premiere on September 15th, 1986 and was conceptualized by a combination of Deke and Hallmark. It would also be produced by Steve Binder.
If you're feeling a bit lost, Hallmark is the company responsible for all those holiday knickknacks that adore your grandparents' shelves and fireplace mantles, as well as cutesy or sentimental greeting cards.
Although I mostly remember the holiday ornaments. Before we get into the next part, I would like to point out that this show has a very divided following. From what we can tell, half the people talking about Zoobilee Zoo absolutely love it, and the other half absolutely cannot stand it.
For example, Bats, some people blame and accuse this show for introducing kids to an adult-oriented entertainment medium that would be popular among the furry community.
Yeah, but that sounds more like a topic for our School of Boredom After Midnight series, which our audience can find over on our darker partner channel, Bats from the Grave, where we have no problem getting dark, but let's try and keep it clean over on this one.
Yeah, this coming from the guy that wrote and performed Brickleberry and Paradise PD School of Boredoms.
And yes, I did just say pube salad. Yeah, well, mistakes were made, okay, and we're in the process of fixing it.
Your Rick and Morty theory, not to mention your Chowder Thrice Cream theory, we really got some subscribing with that one, huh?
Zoobilee Zoo featured a cast of 7 main characters. As a matter of fact, let's have a look at them now. First up is Mayor Ben. Mayor Ben would be portrayed by the talented Ben Vereen and be responsible for opening and closing every episode. And through our research, we noticed a lot of people were wondering what kind of animal Mayor Ben is supposed to represent. And the short answer is, he's supposed to be a snow leopard. He wouldn't really be involved in the majority of the episodes, short of expositions in the middle, of course. Next up, we have Bill Durr Beaver. Bill Durr Beaver would be played by Sandy Grin, and he is a beaver that has an affinity for building, repairing, and inventing. However, Sandy Grin would only become Bill Durr Beaver because the original actor, Michael Sheehan, left the show after just 2 episodes to head on to arguably bigger things. And that brings us to Talkatoo Cockatoo. Talkatoo would be played by Karen Hartman, and truth be told, Talkatoo Cockatoo was probably one of the more annoying characters on this show. She was, for lack of a better term, a bird brain. Her character is the one that has a focus on books, writing, and journalism. Not to mention, she is a bit of a gossip. Next we have Michael B. Moynihan as Lookout Bear. Lookout Bear is exactly what his name implies, although he does have a penchant for traveling, adventuring, and exploring. Lookout is sort of the Indiana Jones of the group. Up next is one of my personal favorites with Van Gogh Lion. Van Gogh Lion, played by Forrest Gardner, was the artist of the group. He is always creating, painting, or doing something art-related. While there isn't much else to say about him, it's obvious why he's one of my favorites. Heading into the final stretch, we have Bravo Fox. Bravo Fox was played by Gary Schwartz and was sort of the snagglepuss of the show. He was the group thespian.
For those curious, a thespian is an actor.
Bravo would always be planning performances and shows, preparing and casting his displays, and doing his best to entertain anyone that was interested. And finally, we've come to the reason I'm sure most of you even clicked on this video with Whazzat Kangaroo.
I thought you said to save that for the other channel.
I did, Goat, but as they say, give them what they want.
Yeah, and let me remind you that one of your favorite people said, art is painful.
And like I said, on to Whazzat Kangaroo. Whazzat Kangaroo was played by Stevie Valance, but some of you might know her by her less common name, Louise Valance. Whazzat would fall under the most childlike moniker character of the show. She would speak in almost a babyish tone and come off as rather whiny, but somehow adorable. Now that is a sentence I never thought I would say, let alone type into a script. Speaking of art being pain, I would also like to mention that I personally had to watch about 8 complete episodes of this show prior to and during writing this script, so a lot of the information here is from what I saw. And on that note, big unofficial thank you to the YouTube channel Zoobilee Zoo Archives. They have most of the episodes available, and there's a link in the description. Okay, so this show would feature that group of characters dealing with various problems. The problems would range from common things like lost teeth and fibbing to outlandish stories about genies and robots. It would often feature multiple storylines going on at once with zero continuity. During the show, right around the middle, Mayor Ben would interrupt the episodes with exposition and explain what has occurred in the episode up until that point. He would also be there to close the episodes and explain the lessons learned, as well as to say goodbye to the viewers, which were affectionately referred to as Zoobaroos.
Goodbye, Zoobaroos. For now.
I do, however, have to admit that even the weird stories aren't without their merit.
So you see how things come together when we work together? Now doesn't it?
Just as a quick example, during the Genie episode, 3 of the characters make wishes that expectedly backfire, resulting in the characters learning to be careful what they wish for and learning their respective lessons, similar to shows in the same demographic. This show would have a slew of guest animals and characters, but if I were to mention them all, we'd be here all night. In the end, I would say this show is pretty good for what it was, and for the time it was made. I can see both sides of where the divide is. There are plenty of reasons to hate or love this show, but it's definitely not for everyone. It is for kids. From what I can tell, this show somewhat holds up as a great example of edutainment for small children. And with that, I suppose we've come to the end of another School of Boredom Quickie. My name is Bats, and I hope you had a good time today as we discussed Zoobilee Zoo, zoo-like creatures, and you. Be sure to check back next time because you never know what we have in store. And as usual, think for yourselves, be excellent to each other, and above all, always, forever, keep it creepy. We're watching. Hey, thanks for checking out our video. If you enjoyed this one and would like to see more of our weird, creepy, odd, eccentric, or strange content as soon as it comes out, please feel free to click like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more. We'll see you later. Keep it creepy.